Hi, this is Zach from FishOnFishing, and I'm here to show you how to make an excellent blackfish rig for tautog, blackfish, sculp, whatever. The materials you're going to need is a good pair of scissors, 2 mustad hooks. These are a little bit smaller than your average tautog hooks because I like to use clams as well as crabs. A sinker. This is a 10 ounce, quite heavy because the tide was ripping today. A large bead, well, it doesn't really matter what size, but you just need a bead. A sliding sinker weight, or just a fish finder. A rubber band, and some 50-pound test fluorocarbon leader. And you might also want a 2-way swivel, or just a regular swivel. I'm going to use a regular swivel today, just because that's what I like. I don't know why, I always have. A lot of guys like 2-way swivels. I like 2-way swivels as well, but this is what I'm going to use for today. First, what you want to do is take your fluorocarbon leader and measure about from your chest to your arm in a line. Cut it off with your pair of scissors. And then what you're going to want to do is take one of your hooks, put it on the line, slide it down a little bit, a little less than halfway, and then you can paddle more knot it, uni knot it, however you want. For today, I'm going to improve clinch knot it. It's just what I like. So this heavy line is kind of hard to do anything else. Get a good knot on there, it doesn't matter. Now you don't have to use 2 hooks. I like having 2 hooks because it helps. Say if you want to use 2 different baits or double rig a crab or something. Then what you're going to want to do is slide your bead on, so it's in between the end of the line and the hook. And then you're going to want to put your other hook on and tie it on. And I'm using another improved clinch knot. Very easy. Oh, those hooks are a little close together. That's alright though. It's fine. You want your hooks to be a little bit further away than this. I just messed that one up. It's fine though. Snip off the tag line. I messed up this rig, honestly. I'm just gonna cut off everything and restart it. Sorry. I just don't want my hooks that close together, honestly. Because I like to have them apart because there's some fish that are on the very bottom, and then there's some fish that are a little bit higher up. Again, I'm going to improve clinch knot the first hook, slide the tag line through, and pull it through again. Yeah. Now again, this is 50-pound fluorocarbon. You can use whatever leader you want, honestly. I like fluorocarbon the best because it is see-through in the water. The fish can't really see it. And I also use 50-pound because, one, I've seen bass hate crabs, so you never know, you might get that 50-pounder. on this little rig, and if you got a bad leader, there you go, snaps. But also, it's very rocky where the blackfish, the scup, and the striped bass are sitting. So, if you get snagged, you want to be able to pull your hook out instead of snapping your line. Now next, I hooked my sliding sinker, my fish finder rig, by accident. Take that off. Next, you tie on the last hook. Improved clinch knot. Just get a good knot on there. Because remember, the only thing between you and the fish is that knot and your leader. There we go. That's the basic bottom of the hook. So you have 2-hook rig with a bead in the middle. Then what you're going to want to do is take your swivel here. Well, basically, hold on. You're going to want to make a loop and tie that loop like this. It's a little small, so I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. Put my finger on up there. So basically you just made a loop. Then you're going to want to cut the tag line from the loop right there. Then with your swivel, you're going to unsnap it. Put that loop right on. And just go like that. So then your rig is reusable. Next, you're going to want to take your fish finder rig, this, sliding, whatever you want to call it, and sometimes they have these little like tag things if you want to put like corn on if you're carp fishing. You really don't need to do anything with that. You can put a little piece of clam on if you're only using crabs to attract some fish, but basically I like to just rip it off because it's just something extra that'll get you caught down in the rocks. Next, you want to take your rubber band and just feed it through like that, like this, and then just pull it through like that. So basically, you just tied that, and then you're going to want to do the same thing with your sinker. Oh, drop the fish finder rig. It's hard to get through sometimes, but honestly it helps you in the long run. Because honestly the cheapest part of your rig is your sinker, and it's the part that gets snagged the most. So if you're snagged on this and you do this, the rubber band's going to snap before your leader does. So you just lose the sinker and you won't lose this. So let's go through it again. First, you want to improve clinch knot your hook here. Then slide your bead on. Then put a hook at the end. Then tie a loop at the end and slide that onto either a 2-way swivel or a snap swivel. Here we have a snap swivel. Another thing, next you can take your fish finder rig, put a rubber band on it, and then tie the rubber band to the sinker so the sinker can kind of bounce around. So if you get snagged, the rubber band's going to snap before anything else will. Next, after that, you're going to want to, after you slide that onto your line, you're going to want to take another bead and slide that on before the fish finder, before your swivel, just so this doesn't happen, so the plastic doesn't get too corroded. And also, that's basically it. And that's your basic tautog rig. You can differ your sinker size or your swivel or the size of your hooks or the size of your beads. You can differ it to however you want it, but this is basically your perfect bottom fishing tautog rig. I'm Zach from FishOnFishing. Until next time, good fishing.